Good morning, chicks and chickens. Welcome back to Old Man Farm. My name is Sid, as always. I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm going to give you a little story time, and I think we're just going to go fish. Probably have an early night, but I just am not feeling like doing anything today. And I think it is important to have lazy days, even if it is inside Stardew. That is the ultimate lazy day simulator. Because I had a little bit of one yesterday, and then a terrible night and morning, partially of my own doing, and partially due to banks and regulations. And you know what? I felt so good about my lazy day yesterday that I think it's important to put that forward, even in Stardew. So yeah, I think we're gonna do that. So I guess just for some backstory there. Hello, Chunamos, doing your things. I love you. You're great. So, as most of you know, I have been in the process of buying a house for, I don't know, a month or so now, right? And I have had quite a bit of a hang-up recently with dealing with the bank and getting deposit funds showing up. Also, I noticed we're missing a puffball, so we are going to have to pop into town and do that. I'll try to remember to do that. I was up till after 5 o'clock a.m. Last night dealing with the bank, and they, for some reason, their bank system that generates statements is 2 days behind. So, really all that means is I can't get a current statement to send to my loan officer, and if I can't get him this statement, we are going to have to push back our closing for a week, which means that we will have to contact the seller of the house and get an extension, and it's a whole nightmare. It's not a death sentence. It's more bureaucracy, more paperwork, more bull, right? And I don't know if you're familiar with me. I'm not great at dealing with that stuff. So, yeah, it's just a lot, right? But that was after I had a really nice day. And I know we talked about how I wanted to start playing that Outward game with my friend. And we have been just diving into it. And so I had a nice lazy day, dealt with that. Had a nice grocery trip, which I tend to enjoy when I know what I'm going there for. And, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. And he was, because he's generally a night owl as well, and we were able to stay up till, 4 o'clock playing Outward because I had to wait till after 3 a.m. to get this bank statement dealt with just to find out that it still wasn't generating properly. So, yeah, it's a mega pain to be this behind the 8 ball, right? But, like I said, at first I had this day, and I know I've been talking to you guys a lot about finding a world to just get lost in a game, and not in the way I do in Stardew, mostly because I record this, so I have to be somewhat present to be able to, speak over top of things and all that entails. But, excuse me, aminals, but with this game, hours passed and I had just existed in this world and kind of forgot. And I think it's important to have those moments, to those days, those, we can't be 100% go all the time. And this time of year is notoriously bad for that, as I'm sure a lot of you are struggling with. So, I don't know, I just kind of wanted today to be a reminder to just take some time, relax, and don't put too much pressure on yourself if you don't have to. And here I am doing my chores, but this is like the low pressure stuff. Going to the island is, we're just going to hold it off till next week. I'm going to start that on Monday. Anyway, I was also thinking, and another reason I wanted a little bit of a relaxed day is, my friend and I were talking. He is also an ex-addict and has been sober a bit longer than I have, and it comes up a lot. You know, it's the type of thing we do talk about from time to time. Just because I think we're able to explain certain things to each other in ways that we have a hard time explaining to non-addicts, if that makes sense. And specifically, he and I neither really do well with groups, you know, rehab, AA, things like this. There's just a little too much impersonality to it for either of us to identify with. Maybe that says something about, you know, our self-importance. I don't know. But it's nice to be able to talk to each other in that regard. Let's see, what was I going to do next? I need to go get that blue puffball, and then we're going to go fish. That's right. Okay. Maybe we can catch Ezekiel. So I think he comes to town around this point. Let me pop up and check. So he and I were talking a lot about, and this isn't just yesterday, but there he is. I knew it was about time for you, my man. Here you go. Remember my birthday. I'm impressed. Thanks. Well, actually, I just saw as we were giving him that he would have preferred that iridium, but what are you going to do? Anyway, we were talking about the expectations that are put on you, for better or worse, when you become sober, and it also made me think, we can get into that a different time, but it also made me think about the expectations we put on ourselves and those around us, and when they stop being useful, you know. For instance, I know that I get really stressed out about this time of year, right? And I know a lot of that baggage well, that's not even baggage. I know a lot of the issues from why I get stressed out around Christmas are actually more related to internal, like, social anxieties, even amongst family. It's a lot of it is based in that. How do I make a scarecrow? Coal. That's what the remaining piece was. A lot of it is based in that, but it's... There we go. But then there are other things that are self-imposed, right? For instance, I have, and I think most people would say this, and I want to preface this by saying, I'm not going to get too deep into this. I don't know if I'll ever talk about this on the channel, because it's just a little too personal to put up on for anyone to find on the internet. But I definitely have some... I have some holdover thoughts in my brain relating to previous relationships and things that happened in them. Things I've done, things others have done. And I think a lot of people who, if you've had... I can't put it right there. If you've had... we've all had relationships go south, and things happen, and whether it was on you, on them, whatever, this is not a new concept for anyone, obviously, and we then hold on to that, which a therapist will obviously tell you is a form of PTSD, but we then hold on to this, and it can sour future relationships, and you can even take this out of context of a romantic relationship and think of it like, having a sour relationship with with a parent even, or maybe if you're the type of person who had a multiple step parents, and throughout your life, and maybe you had one bad one, and you color all interactions with upcoming step parents through that lens, right? And we build these habits in our head, and in a lot of ways, let's be real, they're defense mechanisms, and sorry, coughing fit. We build these defense mechanisms, and whether they serve a purpose at the time or not, we can get into some other time, but they have a shelf life at a point where they no longer apply to your current situation. And at that point, it's really difficult to eliminate them, because if we as humans do anything well, it is assess and try to negate threats. And even, again, when you've created a pathway of assessing things to be threats, or even looking for threats where there are none, it can be really difficult to eliminate those habits. And then you end up shooting yourself in the foot. And then you end up hurting people around you based on things like this. And obviously, I think you can tell I'm trying not to say something that I feel very specifically about, but I'm doing this a lot in my life, is what I'm kind of trying to get at, is there are thought processes and habits and actions that are related to my sobriety. I have to think, how do I deal with the situation that doesn't involve me drinking? Because a lot of things that I would have a hard time dealing with, like, some of these holiday anxieties, I would just deal with through a bottle. And now I have to find a different coping mechanism, a different defense mechanism for these particular perceived assaults, to my character. And, there are things like this in relationships as well. And some of which I have been experiencing lately with my parents. Some I have been experiencing with my significant other. Can we park him? I was like, can we park him in this little garage? That'd be funny. Hello, buddy. I have a starfruit for you. You give apples starfruit. Always. Did new friend know people who lived in Vineyard? I did not. You explained to apples, you didn't. Oh, yes, that is what I said. That's all he has to say. Apples, you are an enigma wrapped in a conundrum, and I must know. Okay, so yeah, with the intense amount of stress going on through this holiday, I've been acting poorly. I've had multiple moments of like lashing out, and it's unintentionally, and obviously non-violently. I'm not like assaulting people. Like, how dare you invite me to Christmas? But it's I'm finding myself having to apologize for my tone or things like this lately, and it's not based in current logic or current scenarios. It's based on old prejudices in my brain towards certain actions or lack of actions or things like this from people. And I guess what I'm getting at is I've been trying to work on rooting some of these out, and I think it's very interesting that what can be a benefit, because again, without getting into too much detail, I know that I have a habit in a romantic relationship that is undesirable, that stems from a previous relationship. And there is absolutely, in the previous relationship, it was useful. it had defensive reasons to exist. It probably actively helped me at times, but is currently and well has been since when the previous relationship happened. It causes problems, and it's actively a bad scenario. So I don't know why I am unable to, or as of yet, hitherto unable, to drop these habits out of my head, get rid of these defense mechanisms. And it takes a lot of time, a lot of work, and a lot of patience on the other party's part to sort through that kind of stuff, because it is a two-way street, and it can just annoy some people just can't deal with you getting through your, sorting your own brain out. I guess we should read this, right? Yes, the egg festival's in the square. Okay, we know about that. But I can say from personal experience that and I mean, I know that there have been times I was incapable of dealing with a partner's growth, for one reason or another. When it came to their mental health, I was unable to help, and may have even been a hindrance, because I didn't. Sometimes you don't even know there is a problem, so you don't know how to help, and sometimes you're incapable, and so it's. I'm not really sure what I'm trying to say here, other than I think it's important that we assess our actions on a, everyday basis. You don't always have to be on alert to correct yourself. But I think we should always be ready to accept that we could be wrong, or even if we're not wrong, that there might be a better way, a different way to do things that you don't know yet. And I think it's important that we be thankful for the people around us, that they don't have to actively be helping you on your growth. But if they're not standing in your way, if they know you're trying, and they are being supportive just by not casting you into a ditch when you mess up, you should thank those people and be appreciative of them, because not everyone is like that. I haven't always been like that. And I say it all the time, be good to each other, and I 100% mean it, because there is no personal growth without the inaction or action of people around you. You can't just exist in a bubble. As much as I'd like to sometimes, and I tried living in the woods with my dog, but even then, park rangers, you know what I mean? Like, or random people in the woods. You never know. You can't escape other people, and I've tried, trust me. But we are everyone is a Venn diagram of all the things around them. And if you can surround yourself with people who help color that Venn diagram the way you eventually want to be, it definitely helps. I don't know. My point is just I'm trying to get some stuff sorted out in my head. This winter has shown me a lot. This house process and Christmas and my birthday have shown me a lot of things I can work on that I have yet to encounter up to now, since being sober. And it's eye-opening, and I'm really trying to not be negative or embarrassed or any of these negative emotions that I intrinsically feel about my lack of growth in these areas. I'm instead trying to be thankful for the people around me who are supportive in my attempts to be better. But so anyway, as always, just be good to yourself and each other, and take the time you need and give people the time they need to get where they need to be or where they want to be. Take that however you want to. But either way, I will talk to you on Monday. We're doing JoJo tomorrow on stream. Twitch in the description if you want to come check that out. If not, I'll talk to you Monday. Good night.